Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Nerdworld. I have just been to Destination Star Trek London, as anyone that's been on my Instagram may have noticed. And it was awesome. And I got several new things for my collection. A little war. Anyway, there's other stuff probably on my Instagram by now. Anyway, I attended several of the talks, went to many of the stalls and bought lots and lots of my wage gone, but learned several interesting things that I thought I'd share. And I don't normally do. I normally stick to lore videos, but conventions I consider to be a bit of an exception, so we'll go into some of the things that I picked up on at the convention that I noticed which were quite interesting. And I'm going to start with Star Trek Prodigy and probably what's going to be my downfall of an opinion. Don't mind it, don't love it, I think is the best description. Now, I'm not a big fan of animated trekking to begin with. I to be honest, I'm not even entirely sure I've seen completely the original Star Trek animated series. I might have done, I'm not entirely sure. I know I haven't rewatched it in recent years, even though my partner, Mrs. Nerd, bought it me for Christmas a few years back, every season. Prodigy, it's definitely aimed at kids, and I'm not going to go into any spoilers. I've not seen any illegal versions of it in the UK. I've only seen the first two episodes at the premiere at Destination Star Trek, and I enjoyed them for the most part, but I couldn't help but feel that there is definitely a Lucasfilm vibe to these things. They were very Star Wars, which is about as spoilery as I think I'm going to get with it, because people should make their own mind up as to whether they like it or not. I probably won't watch it overly. I might have skimmed through it, but basically make your own decision. But as an observation, it's very, very Star Wars influenced, to the point where there's a character in it who, both in appearance and general screen presence and ominousness, is very much like General Grievous. The whole feel of it is very Star Wars in general, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I really do love Star Wars, and I do love both franchises pretty evenly, but I am more of a Star Trek fan, and as much as I don't mind franchises borrowing from one another, I mean, style to me should never come over substance, which is one of my issues with Star Wars sometimes. I like Star Trek to stay a little bit more grounded, and this didn't feel as grounded. And as I said in my blog, because in my blog I went into a little more detail than this, but basically there's a Kazon in it and a Tellarite, and I'm a little stuck on that at the moment as I've not seen future episodes and haven't read any further ahead. Eventually I'll figure it out, but you know, there we have it. I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not a huge fan, but I encourage you, go watch it yourselves, make your own decision, don't listen to mine on that. That's just an opinion, and I'm sharing it here. The next couple of things are just more things I enjoyed or observed, really. I attended some of the talks by Marina Sirtis and Alice Krieg, and of course the Admiral, the Captain, Janeway, Kate Mulgrew. All of these women were amazing in the talks. Many of the other casts didn't turn up, and annoyingly, to my detriment, I had actually paid for a photo shoot with Ethan Phillips, who then decided he wasn't able to attend. So I'm very gutted about that, because I wanted to be able to show those awesome pictures, because I don't normally do pictures and I don't do autographs. I've never really got autographs. I was saying to my partner while we were there, because she was saying that I want to get anyone's autograph, and I kind of didn't, because I don't get it. I don't get paying for someone to write their name on a picture. Not if that's that's the beginning and end of it. I mean, maybe if I collected them or something. Don't know. Each to their own. It's not my thing. I like models and collections. Sometimes I think getting to know the actor detracts from it a little bit. I won't say which actor it was, but there was at one point an actor who walked across the sort of floor room, and he had security around him, budging everyone out of the way, making way, and he had this little smirk on his face, and I thought, you know, it might make you feel powerful and important, but really it made you look like a douchebag to me. Sometimes getting to know the person behind the character you love that kind of takes something away from the character sometimes for me. So I tend to not worry too much about the actors, more about the character that they portray, because sometimes, you know, they're an ass. I don't want to know an ass. Anyway, yeah, but Marion Curtis, always a joy with her. I can't do Cockney. I'm not even going to try it, but with her immensely beautiful Cockney accent. I did learn Alice Krieg told someone in response to a question about the movement of the Borg Queen, how she got the style of the walk from the Borg Queen, which was really interesting. Apparently, it basically stems from the fact that the suit was too tight, so she couldn't really move in it. So that kind of creepy, graceful, slow way she sort of meanders across the set and around Data, kind of stroking things, mostly Data, actually stems from the fact that she couldn't really move in the outfit, which we always kind of knew from looking at it. It was very skin tight, but it wasn't meant to be that skin tight. She said that when she initially got in it, it was fine, and then it shrank, which rubber isn't supposed to do, in her words. And then she couldn't move properly, so obviously it was too late by the time I can't make another one. They're already shooting, so she had to kind of just do it, and it actually fed the performance, which was really interesting. At least to me, as a Trekkie, I found that really interesting. As the Borg Queen, Alice Krieg did that character, she made that character. It was a wonderful performance, and Star Trek First Contact is an amazing film, one I love very much. One of the first Star Trek films I went to see at the cinema, actually. I think Generations was the actual first, but showing my age. But First Contact, I remember being taken to see that when I was younger, and loved it, absolutely loved it. Opening shots with the Borg and everything. An amazing film. The other things I picked up on was a little sort of almost a throwaway line by Kate Mulgrew. Someone else asked her, had she been approached or was she interested in being in Star Trek Picard? She said that she'd not been approached, which I'm sure many actors and actresses from the show have not been. I mean, not everybody's going to be in it. It'd be a little cluttered. I mean, it is a show about Picard, after all. Bringing in all the other captains might detract from that somewhat, but all the same, she got asked for a question. And she came out with a kind of flippant, fairly blunt answer, which was, no, not been asked. And then she kind of paused and said, I think it's being cancelled anyway, or it's finishing anyway, which may have been a joke, may not, who knows. But to be honest, I don't hate Discovery. I kind of like it. I don't like certain elements of it. I hear people call it the Michael Burnham show, and I can see why. I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I love some of the older Trek, but I do really like Discovery. But Picard just never hit that mark with me, and I'm really sorry to say that, because I absolutely love Patrick Stewart. The man is just a joy. He's a national, he's a global treasure. He's a wonderful man. But that show just didn't hit the mark for me. The one thing I will talk on, and this is going to be my last point, because I know this isn't my usual type of video, so it's probably not really my demographic, but I don't care. I'll do a video whenever the hell I please. It was actually a question. It was actually not something any of the cast or anyone did. It was a woman went up and asked the most awkward question of Kate Mulgrew, and it was seemingly at first innocent enough, and I know it was coming from a good place, somewhat a place of concern, but it was an awkward, on the spot and almost blamey kind of question, and you got this feeling of cringe go across the hall, and you could even see it on Kate Mulgrew's face, and my god, the woman handled it like a boss. Like, she came back with like a really PC professional answer. But me personally, I'd have told her, what the fuck are you asking me that question for? And the question was, she was asking about Jennifer Lien, and as you probably know, Jennifer Lien played Kes in Star Trek Voyager for the first 3 seasons before being unceremoniously axed, which is its own story. But basically, Jennifer Lien, very sadly, has many mental health issues. She also has had some brush-ins with the law, and she's got her problems. I mean, it's none of my concern. I feel for the woman. As Kate Mulgrew put it, she is an artist. As I said, she came up with a very PC way of responding to this one's question. But basically, that's her backstory, without going into what and a why and a how and a when. Basically, she's got mental health issues, and I really do hope that she's over them. I hope she's past them, and I hope she's getting the treatment that she needs. But this woman asked her, have you done anything to reach out to her, or any of the other cast avoid her? Now, this seems like an innocent question, but any rational human being, I think, knows Kate Mulgrew was not really her captain. She's an actress. She's not a friend. She didn't know her before that show. It doesn't automatically mean they are friends. And also, hundreds of people were involved in that production, many of which were her. She's not even her employer. She was employed by the same people as her. And it was a on-the-spot question, which I felt, and you could tell many other people felt, was very inappropriate. It was very targeted and kind of preachy and blamey at Kate Mulgrew. And she did handle it really, really well. And I understand that the question came from a certain degree, a place of concern, and Kate Mulgrew's answer was the right people are in contact with her, and the people that need to be in contact with her and are there to help her are helping her, which is good to hear. Now, whether or not that was really true, and she actually knows that, because she did admit she's not personally reached out to her. Now, she is not obligated to do this. She isn't. She may like the woman. She worked with her 20 odd effing years ago. I can't even remember the name of people that used to work for me a few years ago. I am terrible with names. I can remember them by face. I'm terrible with names. But seriously, it was a really cringy question. Me and Mrs. Nerd both sat there going, why would you even ask that? It was really putting her on the spot, and it was unfair. It really was, and I felt bad for the woman. Because, again, not her fault this woman has mental health issues, and it's not her responsibility either. Now, there are arguments to say that it's everybody's responsibility, but it's not. It really isn't. It's her friends, her family, her co-workers. Yes, but is it Kate Mulgrew's personal responsibility? Is it Robert Beltran's personal responsibility? No. Is it maybe her agent? Maybe the producer? Maybe. The company that employs her, Paramount, maybe. Especially if they hold any culpability for the reason she's got mental health issues, then yes, certainly they do have an obligation. But that obligation doesn't go to them. Now, at the end of the day, your health is more important than any business. And as I said, I understand this woman's question came from a place of concern, but it was targeted at the wrong person. And quite frankly, most information generally is public knowledge. To put her on the spot like that was unfair. Now, I've rambled about this for way too long, but it really bugged me. And I was actually going to do a short on it while I was at the convention, and I realized I couldn't ramble it off into a short because it really bugged me. And I really enjoyed everything about the convention. And there was just this one little black stain that I felt I thought I would bring up. And again, I know the woman said it from a place of concern, and I respect that, but, it felt preachy. It felt like she was blaming Kate Mulgrew and the other cast members, and maybe even the other production team, from a show that was on the air 20 years ago about the current mental health problems of a woman now, who does need, and is receiving, to my knowledge, professional help. So, with that said, I'm going to get off that subject because it's really off topic for me to give my personal opinions like that, but that won't bother me. Now, I'm probably going to do another few little videos on the convention because I did take a few videos and pictures and yada yada yadas over it, and it's all great. They'll be shorter than this one, I promise. And within the next couple of days, I'm going to have more regular content out anyway. But with all that said, I've made it to the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.